Hello, and welcome to another week of the Abusecartoons Livestream, Thanksgiving edition. So that's not a thing where I am currently, but yeah, so I think it's going to be a pretty light, the chat's going to be pretty light because people are probably busy with family stuff because it's the night before Thanksgiving. So people are defrosting turkeys and all that good stuff. Yeah, I remember frozen turkey sitting in a sink overnight when I was a kid, and then it roasted all day in the oven. Yikes. That's some work. But yeah, the most depressing thing I think about Thanksgiving in Japan is that the only thing that has turkey in it is pet food. So I was a little bit depressed by that revelation. But we like our alternative meat in the U.S. All right, this is a huge one. Trying to draw a series of cookies. I was going to do a mountain of cookies, but I don't think I can draw a mountain. This one is actually pretty huge. There we go. But we'll just take it easy and see how this goes. Oh, I forgot to check if there is a... oh, they've got their own like weird streaming site and stuff now, but Mystery Science Theater used to have the Turkey Day, and they've kind of screwed that up. It's become a Twitch stream that you vote on, and yeah, they've kind of screwed it up in the past few years, but that whole show is screwed up. The Netflix version of that show is garbage. You could tell it moved to Los Angeles, and it's all UBC alums that are running it. It's really crap now. If you want that old feel of the old tone and humor of Mystery Science Theater, I would recommend Riff Tracks. Is much better. That's Mike Nelson and some of the other crew, and yeah, they're just much better. I think the guys that went out to Los Angeles and had some success producing or whatever they did, it kind of ruined them because that kind of Midwestern humor that they had and Los Angeles are not compatible. So they just got absorbed into that garbage unfunny. So this is a thing, kind of humor. Nobody's laughing. Yeah, so that's too bad. I think I'm going to duplicate some of these as well and have some just mysterious shapes. Let's see. I'm not even going to be able to think of varieties of cookie shapes. Yeah, nothing too complicated. So I hope everyone is enjoying their holiday weekend. It's not a holiday here, although they do have Black Friday. That's the strangest thing is, I guess they'll adopt anything that means shopping. So Black Friday is a thing here, except it's just black advertising posters for various sales. I don't know why. Yeah, it's not necessarily a. Oh, there we go. It's not related to the black ink on a in accounting or anything. Yeah, I can maybe just stack these. That might be more fun. Instead of trying to make a whole mountain and putting eyes on everything. I watched the season finale of Andor, the surprise, surprisingly good Star Wars Disney Plus show. It's so funny that they don't understand that if you just write nobody, it doesn't matter what characters they are or whatever, you just write good characters and a decent story. It's entertaining and people will watch it. Instead, it's all this weird fan service stuff and, oh, wouldn't that be cool if we did this? And yeah, and then everything. And it seems like, too, they've got these weird orders at Disney to not step on the toes of like any future projects, or I don't know. I don't know what it is. There's something really weird. And with Marvel, too, where they seem kind of hamstrung and they're not going to develop anything interesting. Well, the good thing about Andor is it stayed out of the way of all the major plots and characters. No lightsabers, no stupidity to kind of overcomplicate it. So that was good. That made it, I think, a lot more enjoyable. The Easter eggs were deeply buried, and there wasn't so many cheeseball cameos. I think Forrest Whitaker was the biggest, one of the biggest cameos. But his character, factors into that time and setting very well, and it was kind of cool, kind of showing how. Because I haven't paid much attention to him in the cartoon, in the Clone Wars cartoon, but you could see how he's kind of being the whole kind of, I don't know, the anxiety of not knowing who's your ally, who's working against you. You're fighting for a common cause, but you don't know who's going to betray you for money. And that's the cool thing that kept coming up is people that you thought would work were the good guys, or at least were working with the rebels. Suddenly we're not. This is not going to be very interesting, is it? Visually, that just it's looking weird. We'll see. But yeah, I was happy to see. And the thing that they did, aside from decent writing, interesting characters with arcs and flaws, the other interesting thing that they did was go back to the rebels versus the Empire. The Empire is the British Empire. The rebels are, early American, American colonists, basically. That is the thing that I think, just for Americans, but Americans react to that pretty strongly. So that's the thing that they really got away from with doing all this, trade agreements and intrigue and stuff, and the Emperor being George Bush and all that nonsense of the prequels. They really screwed up that Clone Wars era by making it, I guess they just didn't know what to do or kind of what metaphor to lean on or whatever, so they were just showing, I don't know, it's just weird. They undermine so much of the simplicity and the good versus evil. It's like all gray and confused. So that was a real big mistake and a real weird take on stuff. But everybody thinks they're some kind of holiday cookie sandwich. Oh yeah, so if I take this one and flip it around. Yeah, there we go. A holiday cookie sandwich. Or something. Something like that. Yeah, I'm going to miss my... one of the things that happened every year is I would get an email from R.C. Harvey, who would do an update, kind of before the weekend or around holiday time, and would always ask me every year, do they have Thanksgiving in Japan? I missed that. That was great. All right. And they actually do have a Thanksgiving, a day that they call Thanksgiving in English, and it's their Labor Day. Their, thank you for the working people day. But they do have a Thanksgiving Labor Day, yeah. No turkey. I think just a day off, a 3-day weekend kind of thing. Yeah, they should get that moved around so that they can do their Black Friday and their Thanksgiving Labor Day and everything. Yeah, when is that? I can check my goofy little international calendar. It was, it's Wednesday. It was yesterday. Or today where you are, yeah. Yeah, that's funny. Oh, that's right. It was a holiday yesterday. That's weird. Why don't they just make it Thursday? then Black Friday would make a lot more sense. Yeah, that's right. Wednesday was a national holiday. So yesterday was Thanksgiving in Japan, but nothing. Yeah, it was nothing. We had steak. we didn't. There was no dinner. No holiday dinner. Okay, maybe this cookie could be a little more. Yeah, there we go. All right. Hopefully, coloring that will make it look like something. It just looks like an alien architecture right now. All right. But I'm looking forward to all the cookies that are coming for the convenience store segment. There wasn't anything new or seasonal yet. Some of the regular candies and stuff get kind of repackaged with a little bit of like holiday look, like Christmas looking stuff, but it's just the same old stuff. Nothing unusual, no weird combinations, and still the lingering sweet potato and pumpkin flavored things from fall. So we've gotten through most of that already. So nothing very interesting. So I went with cookies that reminded me of holiday cookies in the U.S. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. So what is this? So I already did a pumpkin pie joke, didn't I? Right. Hey, unknown girl, how's it going? Yeah, I couldn't find anything very interesting, and I didn't want to eat more different colored potato chips or different flavored potato chips. A variation on Korean barbecue potato chip. Yeah, so they had this little section that was all little packages of cookies, and they looked like, if you put them on a decorative holiday plate, they looked very Christmas holiday. So that reminded me of of kind of North American cookie platters. So, and all that stuff starts. People start baking cookies and building gingerbread houses and all that good stuff. All right. So what should we do for this next one? But it was good to actually enjoy the end of a series, and they had a real nice connection to something that they were doing. So that Andor series, if you have enjoyed any of the like old Star Wars stuff, is very reminiscent of older 70s stuff. They do a nice job of keeping it very sparse. But the series manages to do both a heist and a jailbreak in one season, and they're both pulled off really well. They build up with a lot of tension. The heist has a lot of planning. The jailbreak has a lot of convincing, and both are done really, really well. It's pretty remarkable because you usually only get one of something on that kind of scale in a series. So yeah, pretty pretty well done. I mean, the thing is, the bar is so low after all of that other garbage that Disney is putting out with the Star Wars branding on it. Um, the bar is so low that we're just happy for crumbs of anything that even slightly reminds us of better times. All right. Yeah, there was some weird. I don't even know if it was a legitimate. I don't think it was a business blog or anything, or an economics kind of economist blog, but someone was talking about, so the CEO is stepping down, Chapek is stepping down, and the former guy is back, and they're saying that might be in preparation for sale to Apple. So I don't know. Maybe that's just referring to their entertainment or whatever, or I don't know. That doesn't make any sense because Disney is so huge, and they have so much. They're so diverse. The parks and the huge merchandising, and then all the entertainment stuff, along with tons of television and film and everything. So it doesn't make any sense. I don't think Apple, they're a rich company, but they wouldn't have any idea what to do with all of that. But that was a headline I saw, and I thought that was, very nonsensical. But, they like to just make up all kinds of stuff for clicks, but I didn't click. I scrolled on by. I love that people that read the headlines know where the headline cuts off, like the exact character a headline cuts off. So they'll do something like, so and so is, is a dot dot dot. And you want to see what follows that is. Oh, nice. I'm doing okay. Oh no. Been testing for COVID the last few days. Oh, contact with someone who's surprising. Oh no. That's good. Oh. That's good. Yeah, you might just be fighting it off. Oh, great. That's good. Right. Yeah. When they cut headlines at that exact, you're like, well, what is that? What are they calling him? Yeah, I really hate that. Yeah, we're spiking really hard here again, and they're saying that China is spiking again too, and with their zero tolerance, zero COVID policy, or whatever they're calling it. Some people are speculating this is the kind of point of no return for China, that there'll never be zero COVID. If they don't lock down again and do all this kind of, authoritarian evil crap, that it'll be impossible. They'll always have infections. So, yeah, they're still not, I didn't know this, but they're still not predicted to open completely. China is still not completely open, which explains the mess of the world economy, but is not expected to open until the second or third quarter of next year. So yeah, we don't have normal production or shipping or anything now, because there's still so much concern over infections. Stop trying these milk cartons in China. They're still they're still shutting down. I think they just recently shut down parts of Shanghai. So it must be so horrible to live there. I just saw a headline about workers being beaten. Apple or Foxconn or whatever, Foxcom, whatever that is. Workers being beaten that were protesting. Because I guess they had some weird COVID thing happen with one of the factories. And I guess in some of the situations, that basically means, you don't work then, so you don't have a job until we set things back up. Yeah. It's really crazy. The whole school thing was such a mess. I can't believe they did that. And the numbers they were talking about, like they were losing so many million students. They have no idea in America when they were talking about, during the lockdown and the Zoom classes and stuff, students would just disappear. And, there's not with all those lockdown protocols and stuff, you're not going to have truant officers and police looking for, kids that aren't coming to virtual school. So it was just a big mess. Yeah, just kids played Fortnite or whatever the hell they did for a year. But yeah, I really think it's kind of slowed down and hurt the even in Japan. Oh, sorry. Hold on just a second. Be right back. Whoa. All right. Sorry about that. Nope, not swatted. Just a delivery. Yeah, sorry. I hope that's not too loud because the chime is right behind me. So just a delivery. It's so weird. They randomly come sometimes in the middle of the day, so we miss a lot of them when I'm in the office, and then sometimes really late at night. We've had deliveries as late as like 9 p.m. I guess someone is, behind in their in their route. But we've obviously gotten the reputation of not being home until later. All right. Yeah, and I guess with some of these courier services too, missed deliveries are actually negative marks on these workers' records. So if you're a customer that's always available, like they've never had to leave a missed delivery thing, it really helps their performance, performance assessments or whatever. Oh, interesting. Delivering on weekends. Yeah, I think there was some talk in the US about going to like 5 days a week or 4 days a week mail or something really crazy. And that's really bad for older people that if you haven't had everything digitized in your life, like your banking and everything isn't all digital, then you'll receive a paper check. And so you receive a paper check that you then have to cash, and having a limited mail schedule could really screw things up if you're, really living only on that money. So I can imagine, unemployment and retirement, Social Security and stuff in the U.S. can be really screwed up by a more limited mail situation. Just hopefully everyone becomes, direct deposit digital. It's hard though. I mean, I don't think. Yeah. I like that everything, and that made it a lot easier to live abroad too. Is all of my bills and everything are digital, so I don't have anything arriving to a mailbox. Filling up a mailbox with just monthly bills or anything like that, or even my not invoices. I don't know what I can't think of the word, but just statements for my royalty statements and stuff for my cartoon and stuff. That's all digital now too. So that was the last kind of thing to go digital for me. So yeah, now I don't have to worry about any paper just kind of stacking up. That's nice. All right. these are. But yeah, that's nice to see the end of mailboxes stuffed with things. Here, though, they still have a lot of junk mail. That's still a big advertising method for, because they usually hit like apartment buildings. They'll stuff the mailboxes with, ads for better apartments or ads for, repairs and things like emergency plumbing repair and stuff. That kind of stuff, yeah, just packs into here. And even the office mailbox gets stuffed with a lot of carry-out menus and delivery menus and stuff. So still a lot of wasted paper. It's funny, in Japan they're supposed to be a little more sensitive to that. But yeah, there's still people stuffing mailboxes here. All right. Yeah, because I guess it's just so much, email is so much less effective, and you can, block email so much more easily. That's still jamming a piece of paper in someone's office mail is more effective. Because, yeah, they would stop it if it wasn't producing customers. So, must be. All right. Yeah, I can't believe my old Yahoo Mail account, it doesn't get much activity, but when I look in the spam folder, it's insane how much it blocks. Because I guess early on they didn't do a very good job of protecting those addresses, so that old thing went out. That old address went out everywhere. Oh, interesting. Oh, yeah, you have to put up a sign. Yeah. Right, right. Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah, no junk mail signs. That's interesting. Yeah, I've seen like no soliciting signs, but yeah, that makes sense that you can say no, no flyers and no ads in my mailbox. Yeah, you can still get fax machine spam in Japan. That was amazing. The business phone, it was obviously a previous business number that was pretty compromised. The number I had for the or have still have for the office, and had a fax machine hooked up to it, and people are constantly hitting. There's maybe like robo dialer, kind of robo caller kind of things that are looking for fax machines because they want to print out ads on your fax machine. That's such a huge waste. So you can get, if you just leave your fax machine on, you can get a bunch of stuff queued up that wants to be printed, and it's all like Hawaiian vacation flyers and stuff. But yeah, they still do fax machine spam in Japan. So that business line was obviously used to be somebody else's fax line, so it got a ton of fax calls. So I'd pick up the phone and you just hear the fax machine chirping in your ear. So now it's just on voicemail, direct to voicemail. And yeah, it's mostly just advertising calls. Anyhow, everything, any direct business goes right to my cell phone. So not missing anything, hopefully. You never know. All right. Yeah, something like a soup. Something about being a soup mug instead of a coffee mug. Something like that might work. Yes, I know. Spend money on that, like, depending on how old your fax machine is, like either the ones that print out with inkjet or the ones that are still thermal, that paper is really expensive. So to have people just, send you garbage on that is terrible. And sometimes you'll still get a like a government office or something, or even another business that asks you to fax them something. That's amazing. And I guess there are online alternatives or solutions for that. But for the most part, it's like you have to go to a convenience store basically to get a fax machine. Access to a fax machine. Yeah, it's weird. Or like a Kinko's or whatever. Crazy. Yeah, it's very funny that Japan is really fast on new technology and really slow to give it up. I think it's just the graying, the silvering problem. I think they call it the older population is yeah, not eager to change. So that's why fax machines are still around, because there's still a lot of old people that that's as far as they went. They never got to PCs, so fax machines was as far as they got. Let's see. So we don't need this or this. Yeah, no more pie jokes. Yeah, I like the idea of like soup instead of coffee. A mug of soup. A little bit more. It's still kind of huge, isn't it? I don't know if we need the milk carton. I think it's okay with just 3. Let's see. Yeah, but that'll add in a little color variation. We'll try that. I gotta pay attention to my levels. Everything, yeah, still it's looking a little low. I gotta eat this mic to have it have the level be good. I think the little preamp that I have on this microphone is not good. You need something a little more professional. Everything should be a little more professional around here. All right. So a cookie pile and some mysterious mugs. All right. Well, I guess we're going with this. Okay. Let's color this stuff and see how it looks. Boom. We'll do that kind of baby blue color. Him a little bit more, a little bit lighter, and the white for the glass, and maybe kind of an orange. So we'll do our something like that. Yay! Transparency. All right, and the color on the milk. Boom. So something, maybe just the bright red would be nice. Try that. Good old regular milk color. I like how each store brand, or each, I guess, brand of milk has their different color codings. I always do what I kind of remember. So whole milk or regular, full fat, basically milk. Whole milk is red. Skim milk is like light blue. And then Oh, and wait. Yeah, red, dark blue, light blue were some of the color combinations. So dark blue is 2%, and then light blue is skim. That was the whatever store that was, whatever chain that was. That was the most common thing I remembered. Ooh, weird. Okay, let's try this again. Not great. Yeah, there's some real mess up on this pencil. Okay, on this line, it's pretty jagged. I guess it'll read okay small, but shouldn't have zoomed in. All right, something like that. Yeah, it's so funny. I didn't even pay attention to my calendar. So yeah, yesterday was Japanese Thanksgiving, which is their Labor Day. Too funny. Yeah, there's so many holidays here. And a lot of them don't have any sort of, ritual or religious connection or anything. So there's a lot of, just kind of government mandated stuff like, and things that like in America, it would have been just greeting card companies making up these holidays like Grandparents' Day, Secretary's Day kind of stuff. But they have official national holidays like that here. So it's very funny. All right, and oh no, don't do that. Okay, maybe not so much. Yeah, more like that. Okay, I think that works. All right, something like that. Oh. I can't believe all the drama over Twitter. I got in touch with my daughter in California, and I guess I shouldn't be doxing her, as even if it's just state-wise. My daughter in the U.S., and she said that she was very nervous about what was going on with Twitter. It's like, really? What the? I mean, she uses social media a lot to promote her shop and stuff for her illustrations, so I can understand that being a concern. But who the hell cares? There's just be some other nonsense, some other platform will pop up, just like it used to be Friendster or MySpace. I mean, all that stuff comes and goes, and it shouldn't dominate for so long, because that if it does, then that kind of shows you that it's a little too politically connected. If it doesn't go away after a while, because online stuff is so trendy that it should just fall out of favor, like Facebook is doing right now. But if it doesn't, I'm wrong layer. That's why. If it doesn't, that means they're working for the feds, basically. They're connected. All right. Can I get away with? I kind of like that. Kind of like that. All right. A shy mug. Sure. Oh, right. I'm sorry. What was I talking about? what is it? Is what a big thing there? What were we just saying? Yeah. I don't know. Sorry, I'm like got too many things going through my head at the same time. Plus, I'm coloring, and so I'm like making weird decisions. Can't multitask. So less and less am I able to like have multiple things going on. So milk is not a big thing here for people. People don't like milk. I'm surprised how many Japanese women don't like anything dairy and have like never had milk, or were kind of tortured with it by their parents, so they just refused in their later life. Oh, Thanksgiving. Oh, yeah. I think expats. There's a lot of expats that want that home feeling. Americans that try to get together and do Thanksgiving. But no, that Thanksgiving Labor Day thing that they have here is not. It's just another government day off. Just like Ocean Day and Sea, Sea Day and Mountain Day. Yeah, there's a bunch of like random stuff here that people are just like, okay, another holiday. I guess I can't work. Yeah, it's very funny. It's really odd how many people in a lot of situations would just prefer to be working instead of spending time with their family. So sad. Let me make this a little more yellow. Yeah, something like that. And make this a... what am I thinking of? Those cookies, yeah. With the cream. What are those called? I can't remember. And something like this. Actually, I should make that ball not chocolate. So I'll make this chocolate. Let's do that. Make this chocolate, and then this just pure white, that kind of powdered sugar covered deal. All right, and let's put some, even though it's a little bit premature, we'll put some stripes on this cookie. Okay. Oh, my lines are terrible today. There we go. Yeah, and it's weird because that Labor Day is just a Wednesday holiday, so I guess you could leverage it if you'd use some vacation time. You could leverage it into a couple of days off, but not easily. And it probably, a lot of people have that in mind, so not the easiest thing in the world. So I'm not sure what they're thinking with that. All right. So yeah, nothing too bright. Yeah, so there's like actual bank holidays, like you have to take the day off holidays in Japan. There's like 21 in the on the calendar, and in a year there's 21 holidays. I think the US is 7. So that's a lot of time, but if they don't do that, then companies don't give their employees any time off. So that, people were literally, there was a Japanese phrase for working yourself to death in the 80s. You could kill yourself from overwork, and companies just expected it. So it wasn't like they felt responsible. That was just what you were supposed to do. And a lot of that is, because they were saving the country. They were, restoring Japan back to economic success. So they felt a lot of responsibility post-war. Not so much now. I think those feelings are gone, and people are just like in a lot of countries, people are just living off of the success and industriousness, if that's a word, of past generations. They're just taking advantage of that, which will run out someday. So it's a little bit scary that people are just so lazy about accomplishing anything for themselves, for their own generation. But yeah, those are the thing. I somebody did a video in China about that movement, that "Let It Rot" movement amongst Chinese youth, where the deck feels so stacked against them that, and it happened in just a couple of decades. The promise of house ownership, good job, and a family became less and less possible. So a lot of young people, instead of getting hyper competitive and trying to be one of the few people that accomplish that, they just gave up and just letting it rot, because they're not going to be able to get married. They're not going to, and a lot of it has to do with some weird circumstances, and the government actually making it worse, because people that couldn't find work, one of the big forms of employment for overeducated people was cram schools, like they have in Japan. So tutoring, professional tutoring. And because there were some foreign companies, or they were worried about foreign influence in these schools, because maybe a lot of them were owned or established by foreigners, they were worried about the influence, political, anti-communist influence. And there we go. That's kind of cute. Kind of weird. And they closed all of them, and this is their only government-run cram schools now. So that took away a huge amount of kind of backup employment for overeducated people that can't get a decent company job. So I think it's going to happen. The same thing that happened in Korea is going to start happening with China. We're going to get flooded with Chinese learning English just so they can have a decent job and so they can own a house. And the one big, other than them killing cram schools, the other thing that the real estate market is getting really out of control there. And basically, you don't get a wife if you don't have a house. Like, you have to own a condo or a house to get married. And with the real estate prices going crazy, it's getting harder and harder to do that. So that means the idea of having a wife and kids is getting harder and harder. So it's just ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah. Twitter. No, Twitter's not super popular here. I think Instagram is dominating Japan, and TikTok. That's kind of popular here too. But yeah, I see most people posting. Most people have an Instagram. They might not even have a Twitter. But there is the same kind of Twitter maniacs in Japan that there are. I'm not sure how the censorship works, though. I'm not in with the weird, nationalist politics or whatever kind of politics. They don't have so much woke and very progressive politics in Japan. That's a pretty small group of people, and they're a lot of them are pretty goofy anyhow, just kind of burnt out hippies. But I know that there is a creepy well, it's the original. It's Nichan. Nichan, the instead of, so 4chan is the English language knockoff of Nichan. So Nichan is the equivalent here. And so it's two, the number 2 chan, and it sounds like Big Brother. The name, saying that Nichan is the what you would call your older brother. So that's the the verbal joke of it, but it's similar to 4chan. It's it's all the crazy memes and bullying, kind of heavy duty lolcow kind of bullying and stuff comes from that, and a lot of real extreme stuff shows up there. This cookie looks terrible, doesn't it? What am I doing wrong with this shading? It's just like this. Oh, I just rewatched Magnolia. That guy with the three names, director, the guy that did Punch Drunk Love and Boogie Nights. I had his name in my head for so long, and I turn on this damn camera and I can't think of anything. Paul Thomas Anderson. So I just watched Magnolia. I hadn't watched it in a while. It's a very like Los Angeles kind of film. A lot of his stuff is very LA, but I'm really impressed going back to that movie, how he told a single story with so many characters and kept reinforcing the fact that we're all connected, like using TV and the weather and so many things about there's so many people and so many stories, but it's one story. And I really love how that worked. That was really good. Very impressive. All right. So I guess we'll go through the... Yes, I know, Some Empty Friend. I thought of it. Some Empty Friend is enjoying some some holiday. Yeah, Paul Thomas Anderson. Good stuff. Yeah, if you've never seen Punch Drunk Love, that's the most amazing Adam Sandler performance. He doesn't do a lot of drama, and that character, he's so charming. Like, he's got great screen presence, and you don't really realize that as much when he's doing his wacky comedy stuff or his weird Netflix stuff. I guess, though, I keep saying that, but the Diamond movie that he did, Uncut Gems, he was really good in that too. But Punch Drunk Love, that character is just so pathetic and like lovable, and it is like weird defeated way, and his like little outbursts, his little rages when he is angry with himself. But it's a great movie, really well cast and very simple. All right. Okay, let's switch them over and take a look at some a month of previous cartoons. Hopefully that'll get me in the mood for getting something written. All right. Next time I donate blood, try apple juice in a box. 4 packet chips. Ahoy. I was pleasantly surprised. Apple juice and chips ahoy. Nice. All right. Where did we leave off? Let me check. Oh, I'm show. Oh, I thought I was just showing. Wait, can I do this? No. Oh no. I've totally. Okay. Can I do this? There we go. I don't know how anything works. Right. We left off February. February 2007. 07. And I saw this one last time. Oh yeah. The weird cordless phone with that heavy, unbreakable antenna. She was so emotionally lost that no handset locator could ever begin to find her. Yeah, when you can't find your phone. Look at those little tiny eyes. All right. So February 2nd, 2007. He wished she had a more realistic view of his ability to fix things. So just... white glue isn't going to do it. Overestimating. Oh wow, yeah, we're in February, but I think this is a March. Easter. The demise of a chocolate bunny usually consisted of slow nibbling and occasional large bites. Chocolate bunny. Handheld devices spent a lot of time just not wanting to be touched. There we go. I think that's supposed to be an old PSP or something. It looks terrible. Yeah, these are funny. These are very old technology. February 5th, it finally occurred to him that blowing air didn't solve anything. Oh, yeah, so the duster, the cans of like keyboard duster and stuff. Okay. Being part of a pair was limiting, but being single was pointless. A single shoe with no laces. Yeah, so the frustration of, being a couple or being single. Nothing was satisfying. February 7th. He was done measuring out his life with coffee spoons and was now moving on to sugar, mostly in cubes. What's it, T.S. Eliot reference? Anyhow. February 8th. Finally, the French press pot had a real reason to be melancholy. More than melancholy. Look at that little frown. You can barely see it. And this is when, like, not everything had eyes, so the little plunger doesn't have eyes. French press. February 9th. Alas, there was no comfort for comfort food. So that's supposed to be mashed potatoes. It looks like like heavy whipping cream that's been whipped. No comfort for comfort food. February 10th. Regardless of the form, containing water was far from fulfilling. Either frozen water or tap water. It's not a good life. All right. February 11th. The bottle did not approve of the flask's covert use of alcohol. I don't know, it's a wine bottle. Putting wine in a flask would be pretty gross. All right, February 12th. The cup's attempt to emulate the thermos failed awkwardly. Cup on head. Oh, thanks, unknown girl. Yeah, I like you can tell my depressed single days are coming out. So February 13th, she hated making him feel that being a D-cell wasn't enough. So the relationship between a car battery and a alkaline battery, he just wasn't enough power for her. All right. February 14th, some more book jokes. Serious literature longed for a more tasteful bookmark. Bookmarks with tassels. I don't think those even exist anymore. I remember bookstores used to have a whole section of bookmarks, like especially by the counter, they would have this like rack of bookmarks, like people were shopping for their favorite bookmark. Now they just give them free with the URL printed on them for their websites. February 15th, their hatred for each other was immeasurable. Immeasurable hatred. All right. February 16th. At first, the tape thing was fun, and now it was getting creepy. I don't know what that's supposed to be, a cup or something, a glass? All taped up. February 17th. Oh, sorry. He knew once unwrapped that he wasn't long for this world. Oh, yeah, I tried to do that hazy, weird thing that happens to chocolate. I don't think it came across so well. I should have done it a little cloudier, but yeah, that weird cloudiness that cheap chocolate gets when it gets left out and gets old. February 18th, a simple change of battery broke the decades that he had known continuously as 12:53 a.m. January 19th, 1971. All right, that's an old watch. It wasn't as old when I made that cartoon. All right, February 19th, they were unable to get anything started. So the key fob and the... Yeah, that was like right at that transition time where new cars started to do keyless entry. Like they started to have the big keys, and then they have keys that had a keyless opener on them, but there's still a key, and now they're like only fobs now. It's crazy. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, school photo bookmarks. That's a great idea. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, the school photo thing, I totally missed out on that in Japan. It's not the same sort of thing. They take a lot of photos, but they don't offer packages and stuff. There's just a few times where you do kind of studio photos for marking things in life, and it's usually not through the school. February 20th, for her, dishwashing. Dishwashing is not hyphenated, is it? Was a bubble-filled fantasy world that smelled of lemons. Okay. February 21st, 2007. The only thing he was incapable of inflating was his ego. Oh, poor bicycle pump. There's some Clinique cosmetics. Cosmetics embodied the vanity they helped support. That's not a great. I like the reflection in the mirror though. February 23rd. I think I think the schedule. Oh no, it's still every day. This was to be one stressful moving day. This was looking to be one stressful moving day. So the tape was taping the marker down. Why is the marker red? There's a few things wrong. I think I probably was moving around this time. What was it, 2005? Yeah, I might have been leaving LA at that time. I'd been there long enough. Or no, not leaving LA. I'm moving out. Yeah, I think everything was finalized. So we sold the house and everything. Oh, yeah, that's depressing. February 24th. It was difficult for him to understand that she needed 2 speakers to reproduce correctly. I'm talking about sound reproduction, but the joke is, reproduction. So a threesome to reproduce correctly. Stereo sound. Oh, it's too hysterical. February 25th. Freezer bags had little tolerance for plastic wrap's clinginess. Right. 26th. Without any more tequila, their night looked bad and their morning even worse. All right. And February 27th, the loss of lucky hat status was impossible to overcome. He was no longer a lucky hat. I think it just says beer on it. A very generic lucky hat. Back in the tiny cartoon days. 28th, the cleaver was a much less divisive utensil. Is that spelled right? Yeah, it was a much less divisive utensil than one might imagine. Divisive. And we'll pick up here next time, March 1st. Lumber felt all of his options were bad. Staples, screws, tacks, it's all bad. All right, let me mark this down so I know where to pick up next time. All right. Well, that was pretty quick. I guess, it's February too. It was a short month. I didn't notice any typos. Some stuff does in this font look a little odd, but it isn't. Well, there's a couple real bangers in there. It's been a while since I've read some of those. That's really funny. Yeah, so this cartoon fluctuates between depression, frustration with relationships, and sexual innuendo. What great content. All right. Oh, I can put this up now since I'm just writing. Give myself some room. All right. So, I was going to do coffee versus soup, but something about shy mugs. Let's see. Something about being not accepting coffee. A strictly soup mug. Wait, so her strictly soup policy made her nervous around coffee mugs. Nervous or shy? maybe nervous. She was afraid to be filled with coffee. Maybe her strict, it doesn't need to be strictly, her strict soup policy made her nervous around coffee mugs. I don't know if that's going to come across as, I don't know if the idea is going to come across. Well, I'll think about that. Go back to something. Made her nervous around coffee mugs. Okay. This one's not going to be any easier. Oh, that's right. Holiday cookie. Let's see. They attempted some kind of festive holiday cookie structure. I don't know. That's the most generic way to say it. They attempted some kind of festive. Again, I put the X in festive. Jeez. All right. They attempted some kind of. They were attempting. They tried. They. Yeah, because my initial idea was like the, king of the hill, king of the mountain, king of the hill type cookie pile, but that's a lot of drawing that was probably going to have to go off the edge or either be very, very tiny with a lot of copy paste. So this seemed to be a better configuration. They attempted some kind of festive holiday cookie structure. They were attempting. Not sure. Maybe they were attempting. They attempted. Yeah, it's already over. The purpose, what they're doing has already been done. And I like the fact that the joke insinuates that they did this. Somebody didn't stack the cookies, that they actually did this themselves. Cookie configuration, cookie pile there, so the idea, the reason I put the one on the top and the bottom is it kind of looks sandwich-like, but I don't think it reads enough. It's a sandwich. I've had a lot of coffee too. I don't know why I'm so sleepy. They attempted some kind of festive cookie structure, holiday cookie structure. Yeah, I like holiday cookie. I like how generic that phrase is, but it's not like commonplace. Hey, Quartz, how's it going? Quartz Creations is here doing some holiday cookie jokes because we'll be eating some holiday cookies soon. Although Thanksgiving is more of a pie holiday, isn't it? But good luck finding a decent pie in Japan. Their idea of pie is the kind of flaky baked, kind of like a croissant, like a French version. So they'll be apple filled, sometimes chocolate or whatever. They'll call them pies, but they're basically just like filled croissants or have the kind of crust of a French pastry. So not exactly a pie. They attempted some kind of festive holiday cookie structure. Something. Okay, yeah, they're just not clicking. And her strict soup policy made her nervous around coffee mugs. Like she smelled funny. She smelled of minestrone. Having a good holiday. Oh, nice. Oh, great. Nothing better than being productive on the Patreon. That's something no one will ever accuse me of being. Yeah, it's hard. I've the few patrons that I back, I've had a lot of people pause them because they're worried they're not putting out enough content or whatever. But I just want to support what they're doing, whatever it is in whatever quantity. But I think like with YouTube and Twitch and everything, you get on this grind and you feel like you got to produce. And there are people that have those expectations. They want daily, they want weekly, they want whatever. But yeah, I just want to support people so I don't have big expectations. So when they pause it, I'm like, no, don't pause it. Just regroup and don't, I still want to keep supporting you. I guess, though, there are a pretty wide range of Patreon. So there are things that you're actually like paying for something and you're expecting, because it's not just a person. It's like almost like a company or a design shop that's producing stuff. So they shouldn't ever have any scheduling trouble if they're running it like a business. But for more independent creatives and stuff, I definitely don't want them to pause their Patreons. That sucks. Okay. Her strict soup policy made her nervous around. I think that's close enough. And they attempted some kind of festive holiday cookie structure. Nothing more festive than a cookie structure. Reminds me of... oh, excellent. They're working on animation. Very cool. Yeah, I haven't done animation in so long. I was just looking at a couple of people's stuff that I really like. And one guy's like completely finished a game. Like completely finished a... it's on Kickstarter now. I've been seeing like posting like sample animations for years and stuff. And now the game is finally getting kickstarted. Very cool. I love people that can get things accomplished. Very good. I'll have to check it out. I'll take a look at what you're doing, Quartz. That's very cool. Yeah, thanks so much for hanging out in the chat. This is as creative and as festive as I'm getting this weekend. Yeah, it's a pretty normal weekend here. I mean, it is. They are going to have Black Friday sales in stores, but a lot of they say a lot of the consumer numbers and shopping is way down in Japan, so people are getting kind of worried because the cost of things like inflation is happening a little bit, and it can't happen here because people don't ever get raises. Like people have had the same salary for 15 years, so things can never cost more because there's no way to, you just stop buying things. So they're saying that's being seen a little bit. So who knows? Who knows what that's going to mean? But all right. Okay, well, I think we'll go with these. Oh, come on. That menu hasn't changed, has it? Weird. I guess I have to be on it should be on the type tool. Check the spelling. Okay, well, something's terribly wrong with Photoshop. Fucking Photoshop. Try it again. Oh, yeah, there it is. It's in the wrong place. All right. They attempted some kind of festive holiday cookie structure. All of it is spelled right, but doesn't make any sense. Okay. Her strict soup only policy? Yeah, maybe that will make it more clear. Soup only with a semicolon. And I should probably break it then, so it's not some weird line across the bottom. There we go. Her strict soup only policy. Maybe hyphen. Nervous around coffee mugs. Yes, my enemies are Photoshop and Restream. They're always trying to sabotage my work. That's basically what a lot of the basis for this cartoon was just me hating inanimate objects, just being thwarted by things not working right. Yeah, I'm always and it's always like some tiny mistake that I haven't noticed. Like I've got the wrong tool, or the wrong window is uh, in, focuses on the wrong window or something, and I'm like, this isn't working. It's only going to get worse. So if we can just jump ahead a few years, and this live stream, it's just going to get worse. Old man raging at Photoshop. I have to change the name of it from Abusecartoons to Old Man Yelling at Photoshop. All right. All right, let's go with these. Strict soup only policy made her nervous. All right. Yeah, it's funny. I do admire the the way that younger people don't get angry at software. The two things I hate are my smartphone and software. They're working against me. They're thwarting me. So sad. All right. And this guy's saved. Oh yeah, the miniature version of that looks okay. The cookies. I was worried they were going to be a weird scale. But they work. Revert. Nice. Very cool. So Quartz, what do you use for animation? Are you doing, is it like something you do, are you doing like 2D and 3D, or are you just doing full 3D, or is it some other animation process? All of my experience doing animation is all through Flash and a little bit of like, Photoshop frames, GIF animation. But so my animation skills are, I guess it still works. Adobe still makes their, whatever it's called, maybe it's just called Animate or something. They still have like a thing that works like Flash, except it exports like HTML5 or whatever. But, oh, Procreate. Oh, cool. Yeah, I've got to see what else is out there as far as doing frames and stuff. Because the Photoshop is terrible for doing frame. I mean, you can do it, but it's just not great. But, yeah, I don't know. I have to, because I really want to do some little, especially like for this stream, it would be great to do like the little bumpers and inserts and stuff with these characters. Do like little, cups falling over and stuff. But yeah, or at least do some blinks. That's what I should do. Just have a little loop and the little stuff at the end and at the intro and the outro. Just have them at least blink. That would be funny enough to make things look a little bit more alive. Yeah, but I haven't done any serious animation in a while. Oh, After Effects, that's right. The stuff I've been doing, most recent stuff I've done is all After Effects. All right. Well, I think it's cookie time, and I'm almost out of coffee. Terrible timing. All right. So, and I've got a little funny deal here. So let's go to the convenience store. All right. Welcome to Family Mart. But actually, for the holidays, let's do something not so Japanese looking. Oh, where did it go? Come on. There it is. Boom. Hey, look at that. My microphone is coming out of the turkey. All right, so we have this gorgeous Thanksgiving dinner animation. So for just for the holiday and for the just because there was really nothing very interesting going on at the convenience store this week, but they did have a little section. So 7-Eleven has a surprisingly high quality of their store brand stuff. Is surprisingly good. They have a whole refrigerated case of desserts, which are amazing. They're getting pretty expensive, though, so you have to pay for them. But they had a little section of cookies, and so there's little tiny cookies, and I think meant for somebody to grab them. That's like getting some obento or some lunch, simple lunch there. These little bags of cookies. So I got the little round almond cookies because they had powdered sugar on them, and I'm gonna make a mess all over my desk. And I think the end of the fall season. So these are. What does that say? Oh, sugar. That's right. Sugar butter sandwich tree cookies. So little butter sandwich cookies and another butter. This is a very common. I'm not sure where this style came from, but these raisin sandwich cookies are really common in Japan. So they're kind of shortbread with butter, and especially if you get the really expensive ones from Hokkaido, it is like amazing butter with raisins in it in between two cookies. And there's a kid screaming outside. But these are, yeah, they've got some very famous brands of this, but this is the store version. And because they're not refrigerated, I'm assuming this is probably just margarine, but it's like a simulated butter. Oh, it's margarine. Yeah, it's just margarine. So, of course, they can't leave butter to go rancid on a store shelf. So this is not going to be quite as rich and amazing as the real thing, but I was curious how they simulated it. And then one more. There's a whole range of these guys. So these little nut cookies. So there's chocolate with chopped, these are chopped almonds. Chocolate, just nuts, yeah. So chopped nuts, and then they have macadamia cookies and pistachio cookies, and they're all this little square shape, but the chocolate ones are the best. So these are just butter cookies, basically, with different nuts in them as well. So they're very small. I mean, as you can see, these are tiny cookies, and there's only 5 of them. So it's not a huge selection. So where should we start? Well, let's just do the beginning. We'll start with the messiest one, so we can clear off the desk. So the little round almond cookies. So let's see here. So I think I've only had the chocolate ones before. Or maybe I've had these, but these reminded me so much of the Christmas of, you know, those little cookies on holiday dessert tables. They're exactly like that. So the almond is like almond extract or something. So the flavor of the cookie is almond. There's no like nuts in the cookie. Yeah. Wow, they did a really good job. These are exactly like something you would eat at a relative's house during Christmas off of their dessert table. Yeah, they're really good. So I'll get you a cross section here. Maybe. Yeah, so. Oh, there we go. Just this sort of deal. So it's a little, yeah, crunchy cookie covered with powdered sugar. And actually, it's not coming off either. They did a really good job of like getting off the excess. Oh yeah, this is really nostalgic, this taste. But the, yeah, wow. These are nice. They're really tiny though. But that is definitely a holiday flavor. The combination of the powdered sugar and that almond cookie is so good. Yeah. So similar to like some Chinese restaurants and things, instead of fortune cookies, they'll serve almond cookies. So the cookie itself is similar to that, but it's the powdered sugar that really gives it that nostalgic taste. That's great. I'm trying to think what other cookies are like that. All right. And here's a tree sandwich cookie. There's an apple on the front of it, but I don't think there's any apple involvement in the flavor of this cookie. But there's a signature on it, so it's... Oh, no, there's not. It's just some very natural looking... Oh, interesting. And they do the allergy warnings at the bottom. So wheat and milk. If you have those allergies. Oh, okay. And here's a very standard Japanese style. So these kind of cookies are individually packaged. So think about how much plastic that is, just for 6 little cookies. But these then, if somebody serves you coffee or hot tea or whatever, which is always like a hospitality thing, if you have a meeting or you're visiting or whatever. So seriously, if a contractor comes over to give you an estimate, you have to serve them coffee and some little snack. So these sorts of things are always individually packaged, so that they just like put it on the saucer, like right next to your drink. So the hospitality is something to eat and drink always. So in the summer, it's usually just iced tea and a cracker, some kind of cracker, and then warmer weather, it's usually sweeter. And close to the holidays, too. It's like sweet cookies and hot tea or coffee. But yeah, everybody that comes into the house needs that kind of treatment. Oh, all right. So I'm not sure what makes this a tree cookie. Maybe the texture on it. Yeah, so sugar butter sandwich, sand being sandwich, tree cookie. Oh no, it is. It says Ringo. So apple. So it must be some. Oh yeah, maybe the buttery like filling there is some kind of apple flavor, and the sugar on the outside. Wow, oh, it's really crunchy. Oh yeah. Oh, that's apple. Yeah, weird. It's like a buttery apple. Weird. Yeah. If it was warm, it would be really nice. Kind of a buttery apple flavor because it's just a cold kind of too crunchy cookie. Yeah, that's really nice though. There's a weird creamy buttery apple flavor in a sugar cookie, like one of those. It's really heavily sugary. Cookie crumbs everywhere. That's nice. Very fall flavored. Yeah, I just something like this, I want it to be like hot, like a cobbler or some kind of apple. Yeah, hot apple dessert. It's depressing that it's just a cookie, just a cold cookie. Those are pretty good. Better than I thought. Yeah, I didn't see apple on the label, but on the wrapper, individual wrapper, it said. All right. Oh, and again, the sandwich cookies are individually sealed. So raisin send, butter raisin from somewhere. So not butter though. They're calling it butter, but as we saw on the label, it's actually margarine because butter would be very rancid. Oh yeah, and these are, what are these? What kind of cookies are these? They're not sugar cookies. They're kind of, they've almost have the consistency of gingerbread, without the flavor, like a soft gingerbread. But as you can see, it's a sandwich cookie, and the filling is butter, in this case margarine, and raisins. And this is a really popular cookie from basically Japan's Wisconsin, which is Hokkaido, the northern island. They do, they grow corn and a lot of dairy there. Yeah, so a very soft cookie, and you can see more of the filling. Very soft cookie and little raisins inside. Yeah, these are really good with coffee and tea, with hot drinks. Yeah, that apple cookie was way too crunchy. It was really hard to bite into because it just kind of shatters. Yeah, they're kind of expensive, but the real butter versions of these are amazing. I'm sure you don't want to eat too many. You want to eat one a year. But yeah, the margarine you kind of lose, and you have to refrigerate. The real version of them have to be in the refrigerator because they're just butter and raisins. I remember my older daughter. It was so scary to take her to a restaurant, like a pancake restaurant, or even a nice like linen tablecloth restaurant where they had butter out, because when she was little, she would just see butter and just reach for it instantly and just like put, like an entire scoop of butter from a plate of pancakes, or an entire pat of butter off of a bread plate into her mouth. Instantly, just whoa, a butter fiend. Yeah, these are okay. They're trying to simulate a much more expensive cookie, so it's not too bad. And for the $1 that it costs, pretty decent. But yeah, I've had the real thing. So if you've had the real thing, this is a weak substitute, but much cheaper, and it kind of satisfies that super creamy flavor. It'd be fun to compare the calories. I'm sure the fat and everything is much less in this, although we know now that margarine is not a good fat. But soft and nice. Yeah, so you can see the photograph is a lot better than the actual cookie itself. Of course, the raisins in the real thing are much smaller. But not bad. And actual, like, real raisins, not like simulated raisins or anything. And we'll end with the little chocolate cookies. But these are this is the only one that I've actually had before. And they're really good. So these are these little nut cookies. They have such a huge variation. There's actually just a plain sugar version, which is like a plain shortbread versions. These are kind of like a shortbread. And then pistachio, almond, and what was the other one? I said it before, but yeah, there's a few different variations, and then just a plain version. But I think these are the best. So the funny thing with desserts here is they rarely do chocolate. I'm talking with my mouth full. They rarely do chocolate well. But when they do, it's really nice. So maybe because it's so rare, it makes you appreciate that more when you find something good. But yeah, these are amazing. So cheap and so good. And if you like pistachios or almonds or whatever, there's all kinds of variations. Macadamia, maybe macadamia. Lots of variation. Yeah, so because I've got a chocolate bias, those are good. But I think of all of these, this is the happiest. This is the one that has the most nostalgia and the most happiness in it. Because this time of year, I just want that tray of Christmas cookies. You know, the things your relatives, easily bring over. So before and after Christmas, there's always lingering cookies. And I like that. It's maybe a very Midwestern thing, but everybody had the cookie that they made, or the pie, or the cake that they made. So anytime there was a family get-together, they made their thing. And you always knew that Aunt so-and-so was going to make this, or, the family members all had their thing. And so that was always fun to look forward to. But I'm sure that's becoming less and less of a thing. Less and less common. Wow. So 4 different holiday type cookies. But wow. Okay, that was bliss for me. I just wish I had a full cup of coffee instead of just the last few sips. But that's great. So yeah, they do a lot of interesting desserts. And so Japanese desserts are a whole different thing. So these are all imitations, inspired by or imitations of Western, cookies and biscuits that they've come across throughout, visitors to Japan or traveling. So Japanese sweets are all sweet beans and mochi and matcha flavor, different things. Very different. We're not really matcha. But there's some different flavorings. So this type of thing is their imitation of kind of Western desserts. But the nice thing is, because it's for the Japanese palate, it's quartz as an apple. They're less sweet, so it's much nicer to be older in Japan because you don't get hit with those crazy oversweet things very often. Unless something is specifically made for kids, it's not going to be rattlingly sweet. But yeah, so that's pretty standard in that like little selection of cookies. They always have that kind of range. So yeah, and I think those are just they're literally just made. Well, some of these that are prepackaged, I think these are made for if you need something very quick for someone's visiting your office, the district manager or whatever, and you have to have something. So these individually packaged ones, I think, are specifically for. The funny thing is, though, I wonder if it says on here that they're individually packaged because you can't tell from the outside. You could just be this, it could just be a little vacuum form tray with some cookies in it. Maybe it says when it says how many there are. Yeah. That's very, yeah, very strange that some are, yeah, some are packaged and some are not. So they're obviously, yeah, for different purposes. But all the sandwich cookies were were prepackaged. But yeah, holidays. So it's time to start missing family and another year of not traveling. This really sucks because infection rates are way up here. So traveling might be a little bit questionable because at any time Japan can kind of change its mind about, well, yeah, let's not have people coming in so, back and forth so easily. So we'll see. Nice. Quartz made up a song called Tomato Head when he was in Japan with his host family. Nice. And I'm sure their opinion of you from that day forward was changed dramatically. That's funny. Yeah, I wonder. Because Japanese families are, I mean, you'll never really, if they get tired of you or hate you, you'll never really know because they're really good at hiding their opinions. So I'm curious if, yeah, Quartz, you have to at least type the lyrics into the chat. Yeah, but it's funny because I know, like, just my experience in Sweden, homestay. Some people they lost it pretty quick. They had to bow out pretty fast because things just went really bad. And a couple of people, they tried to change families right away. Like after the first month, it's like, yeah, this isn't working out. And they tried to change families. And that was even more awkward. So tap out. That's what I was looking for. So a few kids tapped out early. But I would imagine in Japan you could pretty much survive it because they would still be so kind regardless. Nice. It's funny how Japan is very musical. Like almost everyone here can carry a tune. That's why karaoke is a very popular. And a lot of people play instruments because as kids, like you have these things you have to do. So you go to cram school and you study an instrument. So you play piano or violin or something. So a lot of people, so it's a much more musical. And I think because just the language and everything, the pleasant sound of the language, and the fact that it didn't have a written component for such a long time. That people enjoy the sound of things. So people are very. Oh yeah. Calpiece is it's a bigger than ever brand. They do a lot of like variation of flavors and stuff now. But yeah, the Calpiece soda, Calpiece water is still very common here. And it's good. It's like a weird. If you don't know what it is, I've never had it. It's kind of like a weird milk extract drink. So it's got this. It's very strange. So it's like the sports drinks here are similar. They'll be white. They have like some kind of they're not clear. There's some kind of opaque white. And in this case, it's some component of milk that they put in the Calpiece, and that's where they came up with the name. So it's not creamy or milky, and if you have like allergies or whatever to milk, I don't think it's dangerous to that. And it may not even be milk. I have to actually check the ingredients, but I always thought it was some sort of milk component. But it's nice. Even as a soda, and a couple of other companies have knocked it off, like copied it, so they have like white soda is what they call it, and it's just their version of Calpiece soda. But oh, interesting. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Then they also have you can get the concentrated one too. Yeah, so you could make, if you want to just do the non-carbonated, the Calpiece water. You can buy a concentrate and just add water to it. All right, if you guys aren't dizzy enough yet with all this turkey going on behind me, let's switch back to the drawing. All right. Yeah, that's nice. So Pocari Sweat is still a thing, and Calpiece is still. So a lot of the brands are really long lived in Japan. So some flavors and things are very limited and aren't around for very long, but brands really stay around. So a lot of the classic stuff, like stuff that was popular, in that maybe was in anime or manga in pop culture in the 70s or 80s, is still a thing in Japan, and it looks almost identical. Like packaging doesn't change so much. They want that, brand recognition and stuff. So it's very interesting how stuff just sticks around forever and becomes these kind of classic default things. And so there's things that like became established pre-war, and then things that became famous post-war. So there's a little bit of a divide there. Stuff that's like classic Japan, and then stuff that's a little bit newer, but still very old because a lot of it, started in the 50s and 60s. A lot of the real recognizable Japanese stuff, like instant, cup noodle and ramen, instant ramen and stuff, all started in the 60s to be real popular. Oh, that recognizable stuff. Yeah, we've talked about, every time I mention like a date for some of these like classic candies and stuff, it's always like 1920, 1930. So yeah, there's definitely a boom at that time. And that's something that's pretty amazing, is so all four of these little cookie things were store brand, 7-Eleven brand, and they're all surprisingly good. Like they don't have to be as good, especially for the price. They don't have to be as good as they are, but they've really gone all out, I think, to compete, because basically they're trying to compete with that little dessert case and coffee at Starbucks. There's a lot of coffee places here now, so they're trying to compete with that. And if they can give you something that you'll come back for, that will become your favorite, or that you like, to go with their much better than it needs to be coffee, then that seems to be a thing that happened just in the past couple of decades. I think once Starbucks got here. That's a shame. There is so much Japanese food and snacks and stuff that won't make the trip very well. So you can't enjoy it as well in the U.S. And so much stuff is like freshly made, so not a lot of pre-made or stuff that'll survive very long. But there are now more and more supermarkets, Japanese or just Asian in general supermarkets. We can get a lot of Japanese brand stuff. So that helps. And I think the distribution, these companies are getting more international, so it's getting out there. But wow, I wouldn't give up this 7-Eleven. I wouldn't choose this over an American with the, microwave burritos and everything with big gulps and slushies or whatever they're called. Is that the Simpsons version? I wouldn't give that up for the Japanese version. It's really good. I mean, it's surprisingly good how their obento and salads and everything. It's really, really funny that they... I guess it's just... One more delivery. Sorry, guys. Be right back. All right. I realized it must be because yesterday was a holiday, so of course no deliveries. So this is kind of 2 days of deliveries all in one. So sorry about the interruption. But yeah, the yesterday's Thanksgiving Labor Day meant that there was no mail or anything, so the doorbell, it be ringing. All right. Well, I think we're good. We have our our festive Christmas cookie, holiday cookie structure, and I think we're good. So yeah. So it's great to spend some time online with you guys. I'm not gonna be going home just for a 4-day weekend. So yeah, it's nice to get some connection outside of the country. Yeah, it's funny too. Christmas is just, I think we talked about before, it's not a thing here. Kids get maybe a single Christmas present, and Santa Claus sometimes is a thing, especially if there's like they're in an international school or something. But it's a date holiday. Like you don't have it off, so that night, usually Christmas Eve, like usually the 24th, is a if you're dating someone, that's you have to take them out to dinner, and it's a common time to propose. So more like a Valentine's Day here. So not as much for kids, although there's Christmas decorations and stuff everywhere. But yeah, there's just a Christmas present. So people are just busy and doing stuff, and people will ask you to like work and stuff, even if you're a foreigner on that day. So it's hard to explain to them, no, this is our big holiday. So we don't really want to not do that. Oh yeah. So we celebrate because my family sends things from the U.S. So my daughter here has a pretty standard American Christmas, a kind of big Christmas morning, and we put up a tree and do things. But it's not so common here. Usually it's a single gift, and sometimes it's a single unwrapped gift, which is odd. But the difficulty is for Christmas presents, and the reason that Japanese kids don't get buried in Christmas presents is because they get money at the end of the year for New Year's, and they can go out and buy whatever they want because they end up with hundreds of dollars from different family members. So they basically get to do their own Christmas shopping at the end of the year. So Christmas gifts become a little redundant. So yeah, it's not celebrated so much. But my family, even though it's getting so ridiculously expensive, from abroad sends stuff. And yeah, I wish there was a not around us, but I wish there was a nice. There was a church here that did like midnight mass or something. That'd be really fun. I'd like my daughter to see that sometime, but I don't think there's any. All of the Christianity here is a little odd. The churches and stuff are just like those, strip mall storefront kind of churches. They're not. It's not going to be very beautiful or heartwarming for the holidays. But yeah. So yeah, we still celebrate Christmas. It just doesn't have a religious component, but it's just definitely the family holiday. And we always reconnect with my family back home and do FaceTime or Skype or whatever they've got. But so I wanted to at least be able for her to get that across to her as like this is the family holiday that your American family would be paying the most attention to, because she's totally missed the Halloween thing. Like she didn't grow up. I think we talked about that closer to Halloween. She didn't grow up, putting together her costume or wondering what she was going to be. This year, it's not a thing here. So, very different. But yeah, it's still good, and it's still a nice way to kind of reconnect. I used to, like the first few years I was here, though, this was like hardcore depression time. Like the homesickness and everything hit really hard around this time, but that's kind of gone away. And as like everyone's retired and kind of scattering and stuff, there isn't a like central, patriarch or matriarch that gets all the family together anymore. So everyone kind of has my family in the U.S. has kind of separate Christmases anyhow. So it's not too bad. Oh yeah, I really wanted to do that because that's what we used to do back before we were married and kids. Well, I guess we were married on paper because we needed visas, but we would go Christmas in the U.S. and then New Year's in Japan. So it was perfect. But Yeah, that was the hardest, and I never like I didn't feel it until the holidays, because then you're hearing Christmas music and they have decorations and trees everywhere, but there's just nothing, and it's so weird that in Japan they literally like December 25th everything is gone because they have to clear it out and get ready for the New Year's. So and sometimes it even happens early. Like sometimes things are decorated for Christmas and by the middle of December they start tearing things down. It's like what is going on? So it feels very kind of faked and not very genuine. So that like started to really get to me, but I'm used to it now. It's not a surprise anymore how much they are just doing it for, to get people to shop and buy, festive things. But yeah, much better now. So, all right. Well, I hope wherever you are, you're having a good weekend, and especially if it's a Thanksgiving weekend, I hope that it's been a fun time with family. It's always, surprisingly satisfying to reconnect with people, and especially if it's people you only see like, once a year or once every few years. So enjoy, everyone. And hopefully things are getting back to normal for people. I don't know. I think I still have some relatives that'll COVID test you before they let you in their house. So that's weird. So I don't know. Hopefully people are feeling more normal. And I hope they're not going to be arguing about politics. That's the big thing, too, that changed. Like after 2016, you kept seeing all these articles, how to deal with your family during the holidays, how to, get across your political views at the Thanksgiving table. It's like, that's so not necessary. All right. Well, great. Well, Unknown Girl, thank you so much. Thank you for your generous support and always being around in the chat. I really appreciate that. And it's so fun. So fun to talk to you. Go back and forth while we make while I do these cartoons. And I will do this again next week. So abusecartoons.com is the website. And if you want to read the archive that we were looking at before, it's gocomics.com/domestic abuse. And of course, patreon.com/abusecartoons if you want to support the cartoon and keep it going. And and social media is all Abuse Cartoons. So I will be back again next week, and we'll do this again as we head into the Christmas holiday. I can't believe it's going to be December so soon. Well, that's how it goes. So take care, everyone, and we'll see you again next week. Goodbye.